Happy Valentine's Day! And I know I haven't done a lot of Valentine's Day headcanons this year, and I really procrastinated, and now I just want to do something special for you guys, but I'm super lazy, so I'm not gonna caption any of these today. So I have a few headcanons and situations, and I'll just kind of like put them all together in one combined video. So let's start with some Valentine's Day headcanon / situation for Osamu. Valentine's Day is a holiday of confession, so this is more of a headcanon of how he'd react to you confess to him on Valentine's Day. So let's say you did the typical put a letter in his shoe locker thing and ask him to meet you after school. If you didn't put your name on the letter, Osamu would feel really conflicted because he has a major crush on you and he'd hope that this letter is from you, but is also scared that it isn't. If you did put your name on that letter, he'd be overjoyed and would be floating in the clouds all day and bragging to Atsumu about it. Once he sees that it's indeed you who asked to meet him, he'd get so excited that he totally forgets to let you speak. This is probably one of the most excited moments of his entire life, and he cannot stop rambling about how much he loves you and how you guys are gonna get married and have 5 kids and own your own food business. Although he totally stole the spotlight and didn't give you a chance to confess, his little daydream speech completely blew your nerves away and you were able to ask him out. I was gonna confess, but I think you beat me to it. I don't know about 5 kids, but for now, would you like some chocolates? Now let's move on to spending Valentine's Day with our husband, Iwazumi. Iwazumi is the kind of guy that has a hard time putting his affection into words, and he especially hates saying sappy things. I don't even see him as the type who'd wish you happy Valentine's Day. Instead, you'd wake up to fancy breakfast in bed and he'd be extra affectionate. Iwazumi knows he's not the most romantic guy and he sucks at picking gifts, but you can never go wrong with food, so every year he'd take you out for dinner. The dinner isn't necessarily fancy, but he always knows what you're up for. He doesn't really see the romance in gifting flowers, but if it makes you happy, he'd definitely get you a bouquet. He would spend the night watching family movies with you, cuddled up on the couch, and wait for every chance to steal a kiss. Iwazumi doesn't like to show it, but he really wants to do it with you tonight. So, are you gonna give him the chance? Alright, time for our favorite gang leader, Mikey. Mikey cannot stop reminding you that Valentine's Day is coming up, and he goes as far as to ask you if you prepared chocolates for him. If you're anything like me, you tell him, "Stop pestering me or I won't give you chocolates." Hearing that, he'd show you the most devastated look you've ever seen him make. Literally, there would be tears brimming the corner of his eyes and he'd look like a big baby. He would also get mad and ignore you until you show up with chocolates and apologize. It's not even that he thinks you were wrong, he just wants you to suck up to him. He will continue to act hurt and guilt trip you into kissing him until he feels like it's enough, which it never is. To end the Valentine's Day special, I have a little bit of a fanfiction / headcanon-ish kind of thing. It started off as a headcanon and then slowly just progressed into like a tiny situation and then a tiny fanfiction. I don't have time to really sit down and record it on my computer, so I'm just gonna record it on my phone like I would any other headcanon. And so I hope you guys enjoy it. This is for Nishinoya and it takes place during your school years. Nishinoya definitely counts down to Valentine's Day. Even though all the previous years he has never received any chocolates from girls, every year he's hopeful. As always, he'd go to school and didn't receive a single chocolate. He was hoping that Kyoko would make him chocolates, but we all know that Queen Kyoko is not gonna feed his ego. Unbeknownst to Nishinoya, he has a secret admirer who has been practicing how to hand him Valentine's Day chocolates but is too shy to make the actual move. You've had a crush on Nishinoya since middle school. As a fellow libero, you always looked up to Nishinoya, who was awarded Best Libero of the prefecture back then. You observed him a lot to secretly learn from him since you were too shy to approach him. The more you observed him, however, the more you found yourself attracted to the short volleyball player. You loved his positivity, his flamboyant nature, and above all else, you loved his passion for volleyball. You knew you didn't have a chance with him. It's not that he's really popular or anything like that, but you've barely ever talked to him. You were a year younger and all you ever did was observe on the sidelines. You knew he liked pretty girls like Kyoko and you were nowhere near as perfect as that goddess. Which is why these chocolates aren't confession chocolates. They're simply a symbol of appreciation and admiration. Finally, when Nishinoya is out for gym, you snuck into his classroom and placed a box of chocolates and your letter on his desk. Your heart raced uncontrollably as you thought of his reaction when he comes back to find it. What if he thinks I'm a stalker? What if he calls the cops on me? You quickly grabbed an eraser out of your pocket and bent over to open that letter. Gotta erase my name from the letter. What are you doing? A voice caught you off guard. Your eyes widened as you looked to your right, only to find Nishinoya, bent over, meeting your eye level. Ah! You gasped as you jumped backwards. Nishinoya-senpai! Well, why are you back? I left my jacket here, so I came to get it. What were you doing at my desk? What's this? He picked up the box and the letter, and your face instantly turned red. That's... Realizing it's a box of chocolates, Nishinoya stares back at you in shock. Is it... for me? You nodded frantically. Happy Valentine's Day! Nishinoya-senpai! This time, it was his turn to turn red. However, instead of jumping up and down in excitement, he was unexpectedly quiet. He just stared at you, taking in your every feature, carving your image into his brain, for he vowed to never forget this. His first Valentine's Day chocolate, his first admirer. He needed this memory to be clear and vivid till the day he dies. His heart raced like a Shinkansen. Will you go out with me? He shouted. Eh? Completely taken aback by how fast the situation has accelerated, a little bit of your nerves was blown away. No, I mean, yes, but... You don't want to? I do! I really do! I really like you, senpai. But are you okay with it? I'm just some creepy freshman who's barely talked to you. No, you're not. I know you. Your eyes widened at his words. You went to Chidoriyama, and you were at every one of my games. It's true that we barely talked, but I always see you cheering for us at the volleyball games. There's no way I'd forget such a cute face like yours. Heart racing, eyes watering, you mustered up the courage to say the words you've always wanted to say to him. Nishinoya-senpai, I like you. Please go out with me. Of course I will. And that is the end of this year's Valentine's Day special edition. So thank you so much for listening, and I'm still very sorry that I procrastinated so much. Things have been pretty rough IRL. I just want to remind you guys that tomorrow is the deadline for this month's podcast. So send me your headcanons, messages, questions, anything you got, anything you want to say to me. I'd appreciate it. And thank you so much for listening, and I hope you guys stay tuned for the podcast this month.